got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Katie's here.
Good morning, but I am very sad because TikTok is dead. Ripperino.
It's still there. You go there and you get a nice screen that tells you we're working on it, and hopefully President Trump will do something about it.
Yep. Yeah. So I was making up for lost time last night. So or actually for like the whole week. So I was like constantly on TikTok. And at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, I noticed that the comments just disappeared on people's videos. Because that's half the fun is to look at videos and then see what people comment on them. And I was like, "Uh-oh." And then sure enough, at 10:33 PM, the app popped up with that window that said, "Oh, TikTok's down. You can't use it. Close the app." And I was like, "No." And then I found out that my friend, because we were like quickly sending TikToks back and forth to each other to like, this is the last time we're gonna be able to share stuff that we think's funny. Hurry, send stuff. And I was sending him stuff, and I didn't realize that his went down an hour before. So he lives in the middle of of the US, so I guess for whatever reason they went down before the East Coast.
This shall pass too. But let me finish the intro. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, Katie,
Yeah.
what happens if, let's say that Friday you fulfilled some orders through TikToks? What
yeah,
what would happen?
Well, so I had orders yesterday and I tried to access my seller app and that is down too. And because it's a separate app that we download. So I was like, well, dang, because I had like 20 orders that I got yesterday. But this morning I went online and the seller browser extension still works. So it says they sent out an email and the email said that they um they're still gonna they're still gonna keep the website supporting and they're gonna keep that open for the open orders that people still need to fulfill, but we can't accept any new orders.
Okay.
And also they said too that they apologize for the inconvenience and they're gonna waive their fees. So it's like,
Well,
okay,
that
cool.
shows at least responsibility, you know.
Yeah. So luckily the website's still up, but all of their well, I only have 2 of their apps. I think there's probably other so TikTok has their main app and then they have like support apps depending on what you want to do. Like I think there's an affiliate app and I think there's like an influencer app or something. I don't know. It's but I had their seller app because I saw on TikTok and I'm guessing that all of their apps are down on the for the phone.
Mm.
Yeah, so big sad. Yeah,
Oh, well.
but hopefully they'll get it back up and running, and then things will be going
And
well.
and there was an article that also was talking about the fact that now China is blocking the TikTok refugees from the states who are going to, what is it, Red something?
RedNote. I don't
Yeah.
know how accurate that is. I will say, so that whole RedNote thing is hysterical. So what RedNote is it's not TikTok in China because TikTok is actually banned in China. But it's like
What, what,
TikTok.
what, what, what?
Yeah, apparently TikTok is banned in
Well,
China.
they have something that's different. It's branded differently. They have
Um,
their internal in-country, a social credit system.
Huh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not like the TikTok that they have
No, it's not like the
in
TikTok
the
in the United
other
States.
countries.
No.
Yeah. It's governed by I don't know.
Yeah, they
I need to not talk about it because I don't know anything specifically other than the version that the TikTok that the Europeans are using in the US and Canada we're using is different. But anyway, so there's a there's an app called RedNote which is essentially like TikTok in China and everybody jumped ship to RedNote and it was really funny because what the politicians were saying they're like, "Oh, well, all of this US data is going to these Chinese companies." And so the TikToker said, "Screw it. You want us to go to Facebook and Instagram because the senators have stock shares in Facebook and Instagram and Meta. And we're not going to give you our money or whatever." So they're like, "We're going to jump ship to an actual Chinese app." So I ended up downloading it too. And it was really funny. And their servers got bombarded, and it was funny because that app, that Chinese app, it became the number 1 app in the, Apple Store and the Google Store this week, and when that happened, that's when the messages came out from the politicians. They're like, "Oh, well, maybe we should, like, pause this ban by doing that 270-day thing." Like, oh no, RedNote is now number 1, not Facebook or Meta or whatever.
Well, this article goes, in what is perhaps the greatest irony ever, the operators of RedNote have decided to wall off US TikTok refugees fleeing to its service as the TikTok ban looms. The reason? The Chinese Communist Party wants to prevent American influence from spreading to Chinese citizens. The ban is expected to be in place next week. That's from last week's article, obviously. While many believe that the influx of Americans to be temporary and just a reaction to the TikTok ban to move to another Chinese app. Many Chinese users are not happy with the influx as having ruined their ability to connect with Chinese culture, Chinese values, and Chinese news.
I don't know.
So, I
I
don't
don't
know.
believe that article. The only reason I say that is because it has had the opposite effect. For one, people have not been banned from RedNote, and that because people on TikTok were and my friend, both me and my friend were using RedNote, and none of us were banned. Nobody has been saying that they've been banned or not been allowed to download the app. Now, what has happened is that the influx of uh US people on RedNote, like, we're talking I think they had 700,000 new users, last week, and that bombarded their systems, like, it was slow, and I ended up stop using it because it was so slow and, like, things couldn't connect, but it didn't stop us from accessing it, and this thing about the Chinese people not liking the Americans, that's not true either because, they I've seen videos and people have done compilations and they've posted them to YouTube about how the Chinese people are excited about the new influx of different
Huh.
like there was people that like there was a popular video that went viral was an American that made a grilled cheese sandwich. And then the his like Chinese pen pals were like, "Oh, we should make a grilled cheese sandwich." Well, you know what we eat? We eat this rice dish. You should make this rice dish. And so the American made the rice dish. So it's been this cultural exchange. So whoever wrote that article, it sounds very biased because all the stuff that I've seen as somebody that's actually in the trenches, all of it's been I'm sure there's like crazy stuff and outliers where people are being jerks and stuff, but for the majority, the stuff that I've seen has been overwhelmingly positive. And in fact,
Okay.
they've been joking about it. Like the Chinese people they were posting memes, under American videos, having a picture of, a cat with a gun that says, "Give me your data," like, as a joke. Like, I feel like the at least the young people on RedNote are I think it's just a big joke and they love it and are really surprised that, all the shenanigans is going on in the US. They
So,
think it's crazy.
all right. So now, did you try to go onto the Lemonade?
Yeah, I made an account. Oh, you
And
mean this morning? Hold on. I'll tell you right now. No, I haven't checked this morning.
So the people you say are Chinese
It,
participants, are they
no, Lemonade doesn't work either.
the,
that's
the
what they were
Chinese
saying.
the Chinese participants that people were interacting with, are these mainland China people? Because
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they wouldn't be blocked
Hmm.
No, I mean, yeah,
because
it's
they're not
anybody.
allowed to have any clear access to the outside internet at all. They're completely firewalled around the whole country.
Well, I don't know, maybe it's not as strict and crazy as the news releases it because
Or maybe
all those people had access and
yeah.
they weren't saying
So,
like, "Oh, well, we're this people or that people." I don't know.
Well,
so
maybe
lemonade doesn't work either.
No. No, I just checked. It said it's down.
maybe there is limited access and it's something they would let go through. But I'm surprised that they
No,
would be memeing.
there was also an article that said that the government here is aware that people are going to other apps and they're going to ban them too or block them. Sorry, block them.
Yeah,
And
it's the same message that was sent to TikTok. Sorry, Lemon 8 isn't available right now. A law banning Lemon 8 has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use it for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate Lemon 8 once he takes office. Please stay tuned. And that's the same exact message for TikTok.
well, the whole idea of lemonade, but I guess yeah, they plugged the hole. But
Yeah,
I did
just
not read anything that there was a law enacted about lemon 8. They said that they will sometime.
I
Um,
think
I
this
think
is just
they,
TikTok
yeah.
covering themselves.
Oh well.
And also too, I granted again, I where I'm getting my information is from TikTok, so already that's biased and probably filtered. But one of the videos I watched was talking about the language of the ban and how that the language itself isn't clear as far as of punishing the provider. So apparently it's the service providers that need to block TikTok. So if TikTok didn't close itself down and kept itself open, then people would still be able to access it. And then the people that would get in trouble is obviously TikTok, but also the providers like Verizon and AT&T and T and whatever for allowing access. And the fine uh was supposedly $5,000 per user
To who?
and to the service providers.
Wow.
So, but the language was so vague that TikTok said that they weren't gonna put that pressure on the service providers, like and then punish the service providers as like what is that phrase? That that saying that you like ricochet damage or whatever. Like you're standing there and you get hurt because you're next to the person that they aim for.
Oh, collateral damage.
Collateral damage, yeah. So they didn't want the service providers to be collateral damage, so they just decided to just go dark, completely go dark. Because $5,000 a user is crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Because TikTok has 170 million users, so times that by 5,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, they could pay off the entire U.S. debt.
Yes, they could.
Debt. Yeah.
But that would
Anyways,
mean they just start spending money again.
it's just
Yeah.
a bunch of shenanigans, is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Here is something else interesting. Generation Z's. When are these people?
They're after millennials, so they were born in the early 2000s.
Okay. Recent foray into corporate world has been an eye-popping escapade plagued by their annoying workplace habits and helicopter parents accompanying them to interviews.
What?
That sounds crazy.
Now, newcomers to the 9 to 5 grind are inflicting a fresh new level of hell into the workforce with a trending act of defiance known as career catfishing. That means a successful candidate accepts a job and then never shows up.
I actually have heard of that.
That's coming from Fortune.
And with the intention of having accepted multiple jobs and then picking one to go to,
I have they didn't get into this,
or
but
just that just sounds like being so self-absorbed and rude that you don't care that
I I've heard stories of uh people that are applying to jobs will hire an agency that will pretend to be them to get them through the first door of application process. And
oh
then
gosh,
and then they'll get them all the way up to like the end and then they'll do the final interview with the actual person. But the agency like represents them.
which
But
is essentially fraud.
yeah, yeah, I've heard of that. Now I don't know if I don't think that's unique to Gen Z. What well, the only thing that I think that can apply to the Gen Z, if that article is true or it's just using a buzzword, is the helicopter parent part. Now that I haven't heard of, but I have heard of duplicit interviewing and lying and stuff to get through the interview process, and using AI. Like, that was another thing that popped up was people were, running, computer applications to apply to these jobs, and putting it through their AI system or LLM or whatever Gall would wanna call it to apply to these jobs.
well,
Well, I hope they get what they deserve.
what do they
That that
deserve? I mean,
where
it's
they go to the job, they walk in on their first day, they sit them down at a table, they put them through the whole orientation and say, "Oh, by the way, you're not hired. See ya."
That that's actually one of the stories I read. So the story I read, was a guy that worked for, like, a software company or a game studio. Either way, it involved coding. And and they he said that they were in the last process of hiring this, like, senior developer, and, they have to give him tests during the application process to prove that they can do this programming, and the guy, like, did amazing and, flying colors, was awesome. So they were like, "Okay, well, let's bring him in, but when we bring him in, we're gonna have him do one more test, and he has to
Mm.
do it in front of us." And sure enough, they sat him down and gave him the test, and he just did not understand anything at all. And that's when it came to light that he hired somebody else to do the test for him, the ones that they got sent to him at home. On the flip side, so I have a I so that so this is the person looking for a job that's bad. Here are companies that are bad. So HR departments have been using quote unquote AI software to weed through applicants so they don't have to look at them themselves. And there was a company who, the CEO was very frustrated because the quality of candidates that they were bringing in recently were really bad. And he was like, "What's going on here? We need to look at this process." So he sent in his application for an open position to one of the jobs and immediately got rejected. And he was like, "What in the world?" So he went and he went to the HR and he was like, "Hey, why did I get rejected for this position? Like, what's going on? I have everything that should be correct." It turns out they were using AI software to filter through people, and they were filtering through, uh, good candidates, and the AI was sending bad candidates that had certain keywords in their application, I guess, and people weren't actually looking at the resumes. And so apparently the CEO just fired everybody in HR and rehired new because he was like, "This is ridiculous." So they were too
it's
reliant
very
on quote
ridiculous.
unquote AI software to filter through candidates.
Uh,
So, does is it true what they say about ZipRecruiter that they only send qualified candidates? Isn't that what their whole business model is? To say that we'll send you within a short period of time, you'll get at least so many candidates that are screened for your job.
I don't know how I mean, that sounds like the same advertising spiel for a dating app. Like, we'll send you the your ideal candidate.
So you apply for a job using that, and then at the end, because they can't find your job, you say, "Would you be interested in meeting a person?"
Yeah, swipe left or right or whatever it is.
uh,
Swipe right for a job, swipe left, swipe left for a relationship. Oh boy.
oh well.
So
Um,
did you? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, did you drill down into this last Microsoft update from Tuesday? What was in it?
No,
Oh boy.
but
Yeah. Let me get back to where I closed the window that was open looking at it. But the lots of stuff in there. And there's also there's several 0 days that were in it. But there's another new one that I'm reading about that's got a EUFI
yeah,
vulnerability that they patched. But Microsoft patched Tuesday 40 elevation privileges vulnerabilities, 14 security feature bypass, 58 remote code execution, 28 information disclosure, 20 denial of service, 5 spoofing, plus
jeez.
the 0 day stuff.
And
Five, yeah, five spoofing. Yeah, yep.
and
3, yeah.
it says that there's an article here that says that Microsoft began mandatory rollouts of the Windows 11 2024 update 24H2 for eligible devices running Home and Pro editions. They announced it on their Windows 11 page. The update, which Microsoft describes as a full code swap,
Ooh.
requires longer installation time, with users reporting processes exceeding an hour. While users can briefly postpone the installation, the company is now pushing updates to mainstream users not managed by IT departments. The 24H2 update introduces USB 4s, 80 gigabit support, that's nice, Bluetooth LE, audio for hearing aids, and enhanced energy saver controls. But they're forcing you. You cannot say, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. I
And
don't think
I guess they'll push all these vulnerabilities too.
I know I got patch Tuesday on mine, but it was not anything. It didn't take very long.
Okay, so
So I haven't got that. I
yeah.
don't have that yet. Yeah. I just updated my Windows 10 machine too to the latest version because I was sitting at the prior one for like 6 months or more
Yeah.
after the other one came out. But yeah, this
Um,
this one gave me some trouble. The Windows 10 one, I had to reboot several times before it would actually get past the startup, and then it worked. So some housekeeping there.
AT&T has stopped offering its 5G home internet service in New York instead of complying with a new state law that requires ISPs to offer $15 or $20 plans to people with low incomes. New York started enforcing its Affordable Broadband Act last week after legal battle of nearly 4 years. The law requires ISPs with over 20,000 customers in New York to offer $15 broadband plans with download speeds of at least 25 megabits or $20 per month service with 200 megabit speeds. The plan only have to be offered to households that meet income eligibility requirement, such as qualifying for a national school lunch program, supplemental nutrition assistance program, or Medicaid. So they the government did away with this. It was all over the country during COVID until about last year, I think. And there was the rest of the article was just saying that it's easy for them to do for AT&T in New York because they don't have that many, they don't have hundreds of thousands or millions of customers, and it's only places where they bring it in is um, 5G wireless. They don't have wired apparently in New York.
Yeah, but that's only for 5G, right? It doesn't say anything about 4G, so they could still have access to 4G?
Well,
No, I don't think there is a 4G internet service
Oh, there
anywhere.
isn't?
4G, I mean, yeah, you get it on the phone, but I don't think that you can get it any.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about
This
it.
is this is like what what's their name?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile does here. You can get T-Mobile service and it's 5G. So
Well,
anybody that doesn't have
it can be labeled 5G,
yeah,
doesn't mean it's
yes,
5G.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, interesting. Oh, it's going to, I would expect that this was a just happened.
yeah.
So I
Last
would
week.
expect New York will do something to put punitive damages on them because of it. Say, you're depriving people
No,
of,
no, 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 no. Apparently there were the law says you cannot operate in the state unless you do this. Well, so we won't operate.
wow. What, there was another story like this that just happened related to California. And this is prior to the fires about
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah, remember that? It was, they say, well, you got to do this in the state. Say, "Mm, great, we're gone. Thank you." And they left. And
yeah,
it was a big deal. I can't remember what it was though.
yeah.
But
All
oy,
right. And Microsoft researchers who tested more than 100 of the company's AI products concluded that AI systems can never be made fully secure, according to a new preprint paper. The 26 author study, which included Azure CTO Mark Rasinovich, found that large language models amplify existing security risk and create new vulnerabilities. While defensive measures can increase the cost of attacks, the researchers warned that AI system will remain vulnerable to threats ranging from gradient-based attacks to simpler techniques like interface manipulation for phishing.
Wait, sorry. What AI software?
Any AI software,
Oh, okay. They
AI
were just
systems. Oh, they're talking about large language.
so
LLMs are apparently amplify the security risks.
well,
so
they're the largest footprint out there
Yeah.
anyway, LLM. So the other
but
ones
what
are
is
still
that?
under development.
I think I need layman terms. So this isn't talking about using ChatGPT. This is talking about if you download your own LLM and try to use it.
In anything that you are developing, I mean, they're saying they tested 100 of the company of Microsoft products
So
that have
Microsoft
to do
LLMs
products that use AI.
that are Microsoft products.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is just about everything
yeah.
Huh.
to some extent. I mean, they can call it could have been called something else before, like a help that you have in an app, right? Or something that, a configuration aid or something like that. It's just that it's called AI now because that's snappy.
Wait, there was a story.
I mean, think about the when you go to a website, say you're going for a service on something and they have the little chat thing on the side, that's obviously AI or what used to be just, whatever they called it before it was LLM. It was always LLM,
Uh,
but before they called it AI, right? What can I help you with today? And you put in outage. Oh, what kind of outage? Wireless. They go through basically just detecting what you said and going to a different fork in the program until you get to where they can't help you anymore and you get so frustrated, say, talk to somebody because it doesn't help you.
there
Like
was
remember the diagnostic stuff you'd use for cable, Amnon? You'd go and you use the chat because it's easier to go through. They would take you through every step of the reset, even though you've
oh
done it
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've already done that, but they don't want to hear that.
There was another story I didn't print it. That some people in MIT resurrected Eliza that was developed like 60 years ago, whatever. And it's
60 years?
and it's an AI. You talk to it, but it's with typing.
Oh,
And they said that it was very accurate. Interesting.
we
Um,
had
and
on early PCs set up, early PCs I had in the house. It's from one of the vendors that I bought something from. They had this thing that was a talking parrot, and it would have like 10 or 12 canned phrases, or it would repeat back to you what you said to it. And it was a lot of fun. The
yeah,
kids loved playing it because you'd say, what's your name? And the parrot would tell you his name and different things like that, and mimic you. It was cute.
yeah,
But I wrote I wrote programs in BASIC on uh what was it? The not the 9940, before that, even PET, Commodore PET, that um
yeah.
I built games for the kids that were recognizing geometric shapes. And it would show the geometric shapes, and then it took, which one is the square? And you'd press one, and yes, so two would be wrong. So it's all the same, if this and that programming.
Yeah.
Just if you can't figure it out, it asks you more questions. Here I am simplifying something that's extremely complicated that I don't know. I couldn't program myself today. No way.
So here's something to wonder. US President Joe Biden has issued a comprehensive cybersecurity executive order 4 days before leaving office, mandating improvements to government network monitoring, software procurement, AI usage, and foreign hacker penalties. Had to wait for this until he leaves, right?
These are attempts to muck it up for the new administration. All
Well,
a lot of things are, and it's not Biden. Obvious, he wouldn't have a
well,
clue as
yeah,
to what you're
it's
talking
it's
about.
the administration.
It's
Yeah,
his young administrative people that are trying to plant landmines
but I
and
mean,
put.
you would think that they do this on daily basis, all the day from the first day of in administration, and in the during all of Trump and all of Obama, whatever. You would think
Well,
that the government, to protect us, are doing these things on ongoing basis. That why do they have to wait for an
I,
executive order to do this?
I honestly think that it's out of sight, out of mind. To them, it is not a priority.
Well,
And that only when they get tagged on it, do they say, "Oh yeah, and we need to do this." But why are they always caught with their pants down all the time? Just look at the whole situation in California with the things that,
yeah,
when you look, if you were to take an objective look from the outside and say what was happening, are you insane? But they're defending it to say, "Oh no, this is the right thing to do." And look at all the people that were hurt by it, and the devastating damage that's been done. That's going to take 20 years to fix,
probably longer.
probably longer.
Yep,
I,
yep.
yeah, I don't want to get into it. It just makes me crazy.
Katie,
Yep.
do you know what is Pixelfed?
No, I don't no idea what you're
Well,
talking
I mean,
about.
it's got something to do with images. So Meta is deleting links to Pixelfed, a centralized open source Instagram competitor, labeling labeling them as spam on Facebook and removing them immediately. Pixelfed is an open source community funded and decentralized image sharing platform that runs on ActivityPub, which is the same technology that supports Mastodon and other federated services. Pixelfed.social is the largest Pixelfed server, which was launched in 2018 but has gained renewed attention over the last week. Blue Sky user AJ somebody originally posted that links to Pixelfed were being deleted by Meta 404 Media then also tried to post a link to Pixelfed on Facebook. It was immediately deleted.
Mm.
I guess Meta can take uh, competition.
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's amazing. It is just amazing.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Oh, I mean, we're saying we're going to keep on using Windows 10. Microsoft will stop supporting its Microsoft 365, formerly known as Office 365, desktop applications on Windows 10 after October 14th, the day the company is retiring the old operating system. So, I mean, there were people that were still using Office 2013 last year that I know of, and that's real old. So I don't know what to think about. I never used 365, and I wonder if they have a way to actually make it stop working, or is it just you don't get any more updates?
Wait, what is it? I thought 365 was their suite. Is that not a thing anymore? What do they
No, they
use?
everything is called that. It's a Microsoft 365.
Mhm.
That's the name of it. It
Okay.
it used to be Office 365, but now it's Microsoft 365.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, their naming stuff is so confusing.
Ah, well, leave it to them. And do you guys remember the whole fiasco with Change Healthcare?
No, Spin
That
stepped away for a second.
huh?
I said Spin stepped away
Oh
for a
yeah.
second. So if he knows, then I don't know.
So Change Healthcare. I mean, there were millions of. They compromised over 100 million people's medical record last year. Somebody they broke into them, but the article said Change Healthcare has hidden its data breach notification webpage from search engines using no index code, TechCrunch found, making it difficult for affected individuals to find information about the massive healthcare data breach that compromised over 100 million people's medical records last year.
Hmm.
I think they should be punished for that.
Yeah.
Big
And
time.
TikTok's the problem.
Yeah, TikTok. Exactly. Good.
Let's go
Yeah.
after TikTok, where there's been no leaks and no proof that
Yep.
they send information to China, and not the companies that have all of our medical records.
Yep. It's just amazing to do stuff like this.
Yep.
What do you think? It's not going to come out?
Yep. The
Oh,
double standard.
yeah. And talking about streaming, do you remember we were talking about the fact that ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers, Discovery announced that they are going to launch some kind of a sports thing, streaming altogether?
Vaguely. Yeah, vaguely.
They announced last week it will not launch the Venue live sports streaming service. After careful consideration, we have collectively agreed to discontinue the Venue Sports joint ventures and not launch the streaming service.
Also known as they didn't get enough investors
Maybe that,
or
maybe
funding.
it just didn't go viral enough. I don't know.
Yep.
That's possible too. Yeah. Um.
Sports streaming is such a pain in the butt because, speaking from, I don't know if this is the same in football and basketball and baseball, but in hockey, specifically for North Carolina, you have to subscribe to the local network, FanDuel Sports or whatever. But then even then, they have games that are you can only watch on ESPN Plus
Hmm.
or on Max or whatever, and when that happens, they get blacked out on the local network. So you have to subscribe to ESPN Plus or whatever other thing. So whatever station has the rights for that specific game, everything else gets blocked. So it's like, well, what are you supposed to do? Like, you subscribe to the main one, and then they're like, oh, we don't have rights to the game for today. You're gonna have to subscribe to this one just for this game. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, people will be like, oh, we'll just do a free subscription. Yeah, but there's multiple games throughout the season that does that. So does that mean I'm gonna have to subscribe to all of these different things just to watch the game? And the answer is no. I just sail the high seas, aka watch streams that people upload.
Well,
'Cause then I don't have to worry about it.
yes, you do. All right. According to Axios, Google has told the EU it will not add fact checks to search results and YouTube videos or use them in ranking or removing content despite the requirements of a new EU law. That is interesting. Say, oh, you want us to do this? No, we're not going to do it. That
Yeah.
that did not happen before. I wonder what, because everything the EU passed, everybody kind of went along and modified their software and all that. Even Apple with their uh, App Store, which is they, they say that the EU is looking at it again now to see if they are fooling with it and that they are actually doing what they said that they were doing. Um. Okay. AI. Apple is temporarily pulling its newly introduced artificial intelligence feature that summarizes news notifications after it repeatedly sent users error filled headlines, sparking backlash from a news organization and press freedom groups. The rare reversal from the iPhone maker on its heavily marketed Apple Intelligence feature comes after the technology produced misleading or altogether false summaries of news headlines that appeared almost identical to regular push notifications.
Wow. So it was pushing
The
false information.
yeah, I mean people don't learn. I mean, we already saw what happened with those attorneys that used it and did not go through it to make sure that it was correct. You're just trying to do something that will put you like, hey, look what we're doing, but you don't check to see if what you're doing is right.
Yeah, who's checking the AI? Because so the AI is doing what it's supposed to, which is uh
Yeah,
going through and grabbing articles or grabbing whatever. But who's checking to make sure that things they're grabbing are
right.
legit?
Apparently nobody. Either that or people that don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's very you can very much exploit that. So like if you released a news article that was completely false and you
Hmm.
knew it was false, but for maybe 5 minutes it would be on top of Meta's AI news feed, then those 5 minutes could impact a bunch of people and then you would have those eyeballs that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Right, right. And those of you that have Canons
Like the camera
camera
or the
or
actual
webcam,
Canon
no,
siege
webcam,
weapon.
cameras and webcams on computers. That's what it says. Canon is requiring users to pay a monthly subscription fee
Oh my
to
god.
fully use their cameras and webcams on computers.
No.
The company's new EOS webcam utility software restricts features like HD resolution, brightness adjustment, and color correction unless users pay $4.99 a month or $49.99 annually.
That's BS.
That is
Absolute BS.
so ridiculous.
What kind
Exploitive.
of all cameras, all Canon cameras,
All Canon uh,
webcams? Hey,
webcams and cameras that I use on computers.
gosh. That's insane.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's absolute BS. So the only reason you need to subscribe to something in general is if the service they provide is something that is intensive on their end. And what I mean by that is like maybe there's a server, maybe you use a cloud server from them
Right.
where your feed goes through them,
Yeah.
or maybe there's something that gets updated live that you need access to kind of thing. This
Right.
is
Well,
this is for
this is
me.
a terrible precedent because most vendors, you buy the camera once, you don't unless you are getting cloud storage,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
are not
That's
paying anything.
yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying that like how my question is how do they know that the camera is being accessed or whatever on the computer?
Well, it's
Obviously,
it's
Yep.
it's registered. It's not. It's got to go through them. Like when if you leave the house and you want to access the camera, it's through their server.
No. No.
y-
No. No. No.
no,
Oh,
It's
oh yes, yes,
but the question is
because you do access
why?
it through their app.
n-
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe I just don't understand how webcams and cameras work nowadays, but my webcam is not a Canon. It's just a cheap webcam off of
yeah.
Amazon. It has a USB, I plug it in, and that's it. Yeah, there might be a desktop app that comes with it that you could probably adjust things, but I've never opened it and I don't use it.
It's
Oh,
there.
I should.
No, most scammers have the ability to do it within their utilities. There's a
Got to
driver.
differentiate. Got to differentiate between webcams and home cameras that are IP cameras that you set up in your house for security.
Okay, they're
I
talking
think
about cameras as webcams on
Okay.
computers.
you
So
Oh,
know
that's
to fully
okay.
use
Okay.
I didn't even notice this. To fully use their cameras as webcams on computers. So if you have one of those expensive Canon
you,
cameras,
but
you
you know
know,
who that
So
targets? That you know who they're going after? They're going after the streamers because all of the streamers use real cameras as webcams because of the
yes,
quality.
yes.
So they're going after the streaming community, which generally are tech savvy. So Canon just shot themselves in the foot because you know these people are going to come up with ways to get around it by either going to Canon's competitors or completely figuring out a whole different thing to do. So uh, the problem is Canon does not have a corner on the market. If they were
no.
the only thing,
If
then I mean, I still don't think charging is right, but they would have some kind of ammunition to go after and like, oh yeah, maybe make some money off of this. But no, they just shot themselves in the foot.
I mean, I use Canon cameras. I was just looking at video cams. They're not camera. They're one of those, the
Yeah,
thing that, and everything is built in. It's not like you need anything special. I never needed to go to Canon
yeah.
for anything.
No,
It's all,
all the Twitch streamers, all the YouTube streamers,
yeah.
all of the any kind of streaming platform, they Canon gets recommended as the camera to use because I guess it's affordable. Well, I don't know enough. Well, I wish we had Nick on because Nick would be able to speak to it because he actually streams.
Any
But I know Canon was a recommended camera, but not anymore.
any camera that will do high def video recording, which is most all DSLRs now do that. Used
Yeah.
to be that was you could just take digital pictures. Or you might be able to record some video, but it was not.
In the early days, I remember if you took one of those DSLRs and you use it as a cam, it could burn it
Yeah, it's not,
because
they
it
weren't
wasn't
designed to
made
do
for that.
that.
Yeah.
They weren't designed for it, but all of them now do it. And so I'm looking at the Canon line now. The EOS, the Rebel, the Mark II, the R5, so R5. So there's a ton of cameras, and they're used. I mean, Hollywood uses this stuff, or they film movies now using these type of cameras
Yeah.
because the quality is so good.
Yeah, and again, I it's like gatekeeping like beforehand, the HD was provided with the phone, and the color correction was or not phone was provided with the camera, and then the color correction was provided with the camera. So now they're saying, "Oh, you can't access that anymore." For 50 years, this I don't know how old the company is, but for 50 years, you've been able to do this thing with the HD and the color correction, and now you have to pay. Like, what do they think is gonna happen? Why do companies make these stupid decisions? Like,
That's something that's hanging over the head for me because I have products in the house that I purchased that have no subscription fees, like the water monitoring stuff I have, and my valve that opens and closes the water, the house supply. I can do it remotely, and it will send me alerts. Now they do charge if you do get more than some number of text messages per month. Then there's a charge or notifications, but the setting it up on their server is free with the purchase of the product.
they shouldn't be able to retroactively charge. So, like, if they decide to go through with this crazy charge subscription service,
No.
then every new camera should be affected by it, not old camera, because that would just be that sounds criminal. Like, this is what you buy. Oh, by the way, you owe us more money.
I understand why. I don't agree with why they're doing it, but I understand why they're doing it because they're probably losing money.
Yeah, I mean, all companies are losing money though. What the problem, the issue I have with it is that the color correction in HD is not going through their servers. It's going from the camera to the person's computer. And if it
So,
is going through their servers, then something's wrong.
well, I think the only case that this matters is for people who are using these sophisticated DLSRs as webcams.
Well, which is the
Right.
majority of people. There's more people that use, and I'm just pulling this out my butt, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong. But there,
Right. You're right.
I bet you 70% at least of their customers use their cameras as streaming devices because there's more people that stream on Twitch and YouTube. I mean, there's like millions of people that stream versus people that just have a Canon to take pictures and do photography. I feel like the margin of people that use their cameras for computer related stuff is a lot bigger. And I guess they've made too good of a product that people aren't buying new cameras.
So that means then that it doesn't, like you said, Katie, how are they going to know if you're not using their service through the internet?
Yeah.
If it's just a local connection, camera to PC, like a USB device, how would they know?
Yeah.
So the way that I understand it is like that.
Yeah.
It said that what they are going to do is if you want to use HD, if you want to be able to adjust the brightness or color correction, you're going to have a prescription. So they
Subscription.
so they can do something apparently that will turn all these things off.
The only way I see this actually working is that they drop an app, a convenience app. So say they drop an app where you can control all of the settings on your camera
Mhm.
in this one app, and you're paying the subscription fee
Okay, yeah, that's
for this app.
right.
And you could probably still do HD, and you could probably still do the color correcting on on your camera, but it would have to be manual. Because I don't know how, like, unless they have routed into people's cameras and they have it to where as soon as it connects to the computer, it's gate locked. I don't know how they would be able to do that. But I could see paying a
True.
subscription fee if it's $5 a month for a convenient app that has all of the settings in one thing. But that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for to turn on HD. You're not paying to turn on the color correction. You're paying for the convenience, and that's the only reason I can see this working.
That's a good, very good point. Now when I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Because I cannot imagine them locking those features. I mean, those are standard features. Like, a camera has to have color correcting and the camera has to have HD. Like, what are they gonna film in? Like, black and white? Like, I don't know. It's Charlie Chapman's gonna come on the screen and dance. Like, I don't know. I'm like so triggered right now. I
I'm more upset by the precedent that this could set. I
Well,
have a big investment in Wise cameras, but I pay for, they give me a very good deal on their Cam Plus, they call it, which is internet based recording. So I can go and look at more than 15-second clips without, if you pay nothing, you get 15-second clips and they're only held for a certain period of time. But if you buy the package for, it's a global package for as many cameras as you have, and it's like $60 or $70 a year, and you get all the features, playback, everything. You can do screen grabs, you can do clip grabs. It's great. Plus, you can match it up with if you have an alarm system, you can use them as part of your alarm system, which is nice. But I'm just worried about you buy a inexpensive Amazon security camera for the house, and now somebody, a little crummy little company that sells it to you, is going to start asking for subscription prices.
Yeah, I think we just need more information
Yeah,
because
see what
it sounds like the article may be trying to drum up outrage by technically saying that, oh yeah, you have to pay to access HD, but like I said, it might be that they've developed an app or a program that is for people that stream and you have to pay to access the app, which is understandable because
That's
that's
a good
usually how
point. Yeah.
that's usually how most applications and software do is subscription services now.
Yeah, I didn't drill into it to see what exactly the whole thing is. But yeah. All right.
Well, apparently this is happening not just with cameras, it's happening now with printers, paying a monthly
Yeah.
fee to print on your own printer, um, paying for support. Canon printers come with free installation support, but then they want a monthly charge to continue after the 1-year warranty for support.
Oh, well.
Well, we'll see. And I don't even know if that
All right.
story's all that accurate. So,
All right. Well, it's this time of day again. And we need to wind down. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Nah, I need to go relax after punching Canon in the face
I got to
with
go
their stupid.
diagnose a water heater problem. Just found out about.
Yeah. All right.
Not a good week to have a water heater.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Spence. Thanks, Katie.
No problem.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And change any same passwords where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Again, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in Charlotte, 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and it's also on YouTube. Nick and Brian host the Infection podcast every week on Twitch for gamers. Just go to infectionpodcast.com and get the information. And last week, Nick started his own podcast, which I watched on YouTube, I believe it was. Very good. Every morning, 7 till 8. Just go to nickcraig.com and you can get the recordings, or you can get the live shows if you're up at that time. So again, nickcraig.com, and you get all the information there. Take care, everybody, and we'll be back with you next week.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.